media so abusia hey another show and then you make a fan bebre ho na say the munyira ba ho no da bia me ka say NDC for there ye ka gimmicks trickish deceiving omuye number 1 omuye number 1 no number 1 video am watch them this year faso ben was faso ben was say finance minister akoni na bem ayeso ni ayifo adwadifo edi nkomo e koye budget ntime bana minimum kodi nkomo bra budget enne e na wode ko parliament akoka ho asem e de akire Ghana fo enra na wakọ adwadifo so oni obo kodi nkomo to do what budget say the one night the prepare we nyina just a way what to deceive people say ye tie mo asem omoboa na one where but they do be an me ya pass people then can say fastly intentemu na ye woni free and yema na ya jaya man entro akata yani no krenda ho ye nka ye hu ade kan ye nka budget ye nom kon kan ye and this aban ye hu omo penyo hu omo pen enye the issue say I've allocated money to here and the issue no your friend be create loot and share sikano ebe push di akoho na se push ko ho wie na ehe ne sikano beko ehe fa ene sikano beko yantia no am be kan che so kwakosi millennium city sa millennium city no e diska ko ho na sa millennium city no wa hu ne pai yantia ya na Mahama so kwakosi sagreme affordable housing yam pushi sika ni nyina anko sa affordable house na ekosi sei abusia yentia na Mahama so kwakosi ofan dey second interchange no sika ye di see ye apan foforo be di see interchange miensa. So I don't know what Ghanaians are now joying. Me name the Ghana for jubility. They are rejoicing. What are you rejoicing? It is the efficiency of the budget. The head budget the one person when you say the aye and yet the mabej like a cabrof may call into the one yaji. Now where I've never seen when a NDC for year very incompetent. Send them on go carnival brush between who and then. And then the mommy who said, NDC for a very incompetent. Betting tax. You say family and also money ba. E-levy, electronic transaction. Also untiasie. Hey, you are somebody po. You are somebody po na busuye. And then me no bedin komo bi. Ye bedin komo akwa chiri pa. Budget re na omudi aba no. Ye beka ho asem. Enhwe sa a video na hu ya ato Forson. Wakone nane nam ofene say market Forson. Makona market Forson say oni omu kodin komo. Why? Enra najo. Ena woko market ho ni omu kodin komo. Abela o budget ene na we present. What are they going to bring? The day before presenting the budget, no akwana number the Forson. What is the sense in that? Budget no, you take it 3-4 months and prepare budget. Until a day before, and obetini take any sense. Now what to me then I prepare a kama, allocating a kama, a chesika papa dia to swap a plan, dia to sumana ye juma. That is what we call domestic political politics. Ye benenam ho, na ma say your dream mo. Why na dream ho? Who thinks about you? Who thinks about you? And this is for the dream mo. And this is for the hey, ye kwa koto sanitary pad ya mankora. Enti Ghana for mu problem any sanitary pad. Ghana for nkora problem o mu Ghana for nkora ma you problem or more any sanitary pad. Yeah, ye die here answer ye fata. Sanitary pad no. Se wo ye niema man niema ko yi a akora bia betumi atobi. Akora bia ma betumi atobi dia ma ne ba. Enye government responsibility to buy sanitary pad. Na nkrofo o mo adwene nya adwuma wo. Adwene na egu nkrofo wo etim no. Eye hwehwanimu. Eye hwehwanimu policy no mo nkwasia allocation o mo bebre na na ye create loot and share. Ye push scanning kogu ho na ya fakwam bi so awia. Sanitary pad is the duty of the government to buy sanitary pad for the children. Hey. And I Ghana for a budget so. And I Ghana for a budget so. Hey, ye per choir per contract the amakwasi and penny be a koto sanitary pad the aba. Ye per choir be first will be to me sika wia or ho sanitary pad ne boy saying. Now cotton in dozens. Ne bo fofofo e ba ne de bebo mutim na obi e de nya ne ho se e na de Ghana ban de oye ne so to sanitary pad ma Ghana fo nkoda ene oman we oman pa na wo eso gumusa no sanitary pad nyina ye tobi me se ye de hia na ye ansana ye de fata o de fata Kokwa kuyafo na muso beba mo save 6 million per bag no muntu ama won 6,000 per bag no se muntu ama o beto sanitary pad ya mo ma ai free education na muso mo beye ni yie no mo nye ni yie na mo ye ni yie a maamefo ne awarefo papafo ebeto sanitary pad e dia mo ma na Mahama dia odi agro ye wudewu agro ye wude agro wo Mahama ni so sa to Forson we kromfo me say allocations no mo ye no woni nyina wo ha man ko ba bia o me no nyina ye ba beche allocations o mo ye no nyina afa ye be kenkan ya kirew ewia they are punchy holes ewom we are na there near punchy holes ewom sika no to na edigi no man num no eye danya o to smufan cheme to na edigi no man mu no eye danya ye be locate no baabi but the issue is who locate no one locate awie no eye no kwese de beye de wo kana na se wo mfa nye. That is the question that we are asking. Ye ni papa ne dada Ghana fo mo kura mo boroso mo ya mo ntse le mo nim John Darega Mahama onfa bi ye mo da odi bia ye yenda wa ye aboroso da. We know who this man is. Amo nya mo ho te se de mo nti bi da ene ya locate and the sanitary pad in Yaba by Ghana buying a car. Aday, Bonnie Bay na Ghana for the INDC for. Abusia, Mammy Fantia, a motive for na you try a homela, the for sure no, and she shall ye baby bye so, ye be bye so, ye be bye so. Sikalba be a mode co. Ye who sika mode co biana, actually, Ochinabino. Near baby some says carry on the call and dear no more the year. And to a man fancy I can say Emanana Bema Ewo YouTube Michael Umbet Memo Aquaba Nana Adusia also Mo Aquaba Sansona Mimi Kwasi Asamoah from Facebook Machiapa Oskani Kojo Kwache Osi Monster Budget Robin Peter to pay Paul Yemi kwesi Asamoah so say winning red budget 2025. Sa same way so a very serious issue in Ghana. Mofrana say sa duro no pa de was buying and take serious measurement na omfanye dey and make sure say that medicine will get out of the country. But I yezo a man for ekum won sunsum wo mu pa. Yeah, Mimi Samuel Baduan Ponsa say RAZ, it is not easy at all. Absolutely no. Ima mi Esther K badi ma si greetings Mr. Manfo. Mami mwakwaba. Sansuna Patrick Owusu ansa. Osi hola Ghana, we have a long way to go. To elect NDC, look at some of the parliamentarians who can't even spell their name. How are we going to go forward? Ayen sembe bide. Mimi awe sunkofi wonso memo akwaba. Abusianfo, mama yentwa ye ho emra. Eba ya na the video na hihye so beti etwa ye ho no. Mesra wo say share video no. Like video no mame. And share to group awom na abusianfo dom emeka ye ho. Sa nso na bomodene na ye den like video no ene your first time what asimo hanso a mesra say subscribe e channel no so ewo YouTube, Facebook nso na wa like channel na ma meka pa. Yentwa ye ho mra na yento aso. Yes, abusianfo ye twa ye ho aba. Kama pa. Menim say wa share video no, wa like nso. Mesro say unya share ya bomodran na share, o like nso a na wa bo homodran na wa like video na ama me. They say wo de oba ha ya, de mesre wa no so de like video no ma me na share ma me. Yes, de aka no. Ye de nyina ebeto aso, e de ama. Me Kofi Franco fi mo akwaba. Caliph Jaben wonso memo akwaba ye pa. Abusianfo aja abo aja ebo aja no anya ababeduru awie. Na wa hu he yesi wiase na ye wo no. Se woni nkontomponi eye den etu America mane ni kan na di na chi. Ai nkontomponi uni ni tu America ma onu ni kan na wudi na chi. Sanso na nkontomponi yentumi ne achinye enkosi pepamu da because kuye den a ontie de wo ka no beguso ayeden atwa ne ntro no because ho na ye comfortable ma no enti so de ho atutu nkontomponi se wo ne betwe so wo ne de befe so akasa obekasa obebre enti nkontomponi so no betwe so a jana mane nko na hwe no because yesi nkontomponi anama oyeden etia abusianfo ye nyina ye wo ha ye nyina sisira force me mo akwaba pa ye nyina ye wo ha NNDC aban John Dalaga Mahama call parliament ekoka kire Ghana fo nyina say the Ghana economy has been criminally managed for the past 8 years. Pacho timi pa Yengina ye wo ha ena John Dalaga Mahama call parliament ko ka asem wey esan ko hia asabio gutafo e ka kire labor for so ka kire omo say Nanado Danko Akufo Addo na ban manage the economy with the criminal minded. It ya say Ghana ye can say yisika asem nyina. Na ye ba anso be ka kire mo say ye ntro ye the evidence be kire mo. Enra me bo video bi kire wa na NDC ni ankasa ye dey kase the economic indicators na egu form no bibia kire say John Mahama can never fail, and in moreover osan can say any kwan say omotena ho ema John Mahama fail because kwanya na na do afaso manage economy no mana kwa koduru no say Mahama failure na say he's proven second term incompetency. But still, the officials of the NDC goes around and try to deceive Ghanaians to say, hey, entro. And then, aja ebo. The budget, I hear the first budget of the NDC, about 10. Now, NDC still thinks that they are in opposition. I don't know, I'm just some opposition. May bana about the book. Yen can say, you may read the budget. Sikan baby omode koye. And only 18 points. Baby omode scan koye. Now, before answer to Forson, baby read the budget no. Adie because outside the budget, outside the parliament. Mami Janet outside the Mwakwaba. Adie because outside the ballot, outside the parliament. Actually, prefer say. Some from one DC for no. They still believe say they are in opposition. So anywhere they go, they try to find people who come and submit the people. They try to intimidate people. Omo pese omo nka nipa binuma numa semonhye. Omo pese nipa binuma nya kwanya nkasa. Say they okay the chef rifa. Okay the chef rifa the channel NDC for the government machinery. When Kwasi Asema Kevin Taylor didn't Ghana move from America for the whole past 8 years. Who will say government machinery? SODTM and so ne. It's a chef free channel Yaseno within a short possible time. And to the same time, the same way NNDC for ne outside the parliament. Yes, sir, Kwasi Sam Kwasi Afoba, I say, a moment no intimidate who? The NPP MPs. Said they buy a moko parliament to her. Now said, Kromfo at Forson at the budget and Babontia, Omunka, Omu feelings, and Fanchino. What they had here? Had you? Say Papa Yojina who ye himself friend sticker, the deputy finance minister. You heard it. Yes, question panel we say in him no. Aqua we NFS Federal Fair. Aquana Osi ye garam say Ghana ntina Kufuadre na aban Kufuadre na busiamfo agi Ghana ese no ntina nam kroma na oye dede no ene de ekoso garam say site no kwasi ampanyi we si ohun ye o ene onam parliament ekutie budget kwasi ampanyi no we ono ene ojina parliament anim ADs table MPs abra the forest babia no ojina na oye dede the enam so asabio the access to hospitals okobroko no the enam so na odidi Ghana fo nyina atem Ghana fo ye moa ye nimu nyansa se ba ku wo enye hwe no saa de no gusu ekoso dendende kwase ampanyi we ne ono na parliament koyede ko defend the NDC government saa kwa we yo ko intimidate some prominent MPP members on betumi akasa forward the budget no ho. Now they take discussions na ekoso ha 10 years.
Honorable way na me call association. Na kwanye to street light and so offer the friend saying so for la impact in this one ninia and so patase ninia wo ho enne watena o my we for 8 years Mr. Seka kawanu to mo parliament di na o my no earlier the new finance minister Oppong Magana for Oria the Mubeka to so no enye the union said the Ghana be ko enim enye the best sabotage o man ene o man in council yeah she say be union for parliament na man of so we are hoping second then come on, I'm not attacking you, sir. You don't say that. I am not attacking. You've been attacking Gov't. You've been attacking Gov't. And I'm telling you to be citizen. I am asking you to be citizen, not a spectator. I am distance myself away from you. See what you are doing.
Ante abusia se munyina mahu. Sa kwase ampanyin wei. Ya soma ne se onko no onko ye den. Onko distract MPs no. Kwase ampanyin wei o. Wene you are talking about say obi attack government. Say odwene ho awon ti ase. Anytime that Kenoforiata went to parliament to present budget, the NDC stood up and what and brought in some discussions make sense. They always denigrated the image of the finance minister. Kwasia we so ante ho hwe wan hu ne say yebone na enye bibia betene. He's telling the MPP not to comment about the budget. Abusha utimi yepa. Na me pacho e ba ne se na no na enye bone na enne dia ba be ye bone enkrofo obi se Ghana mine yo mu dia o tom NDC supporters and yet NDC sympathizers any omu leadership omo adwene de omu team ene se o mine e yo omu ajapade de omu pe na omu de be ye enti ene we are telling even an honorable member of parliament to say budget na ye de ba no enkasa mfa ho kawano tum sa kwa we ya ono complain say ampino ne constituency or money street light or money road no mi bisa kwasi ampanyin we say NDC MPs no omo di omo constituencies so no omo street light ne road na asefo ana adenti onko ho kotwa sa videos no bi emfa mechire Ghana for na ot parliament once you are not a member of parliament Janeta Frama me Mwakwaba. Now these guys are hired. They are hired to do this stupidity across the country. You kind of monty. This is a party that was built with the human blood. Yet the nipa dasani moja and they build a party way. Why are you expecting from them? That is how they do it. Anyway, kwan foforo bi no ebetumi afa so dia yobeniema kwan we so ne befa na wa akura we watumi anante akọ parliament yeden e de won se kọ hihye MP nani ase se mane nkasa mfa budget ho na wo after all wo rafe is a friend saying wo. What do you know about governance? Na yete ho inyina ne se sa party na aba abai mu no enye me ene wunti aye baaye the enti omo baaye ne se they are coming to what the omo be fasika omo be nya omo ho omo be di sika omo be sisa sika ne de asie sankrofo wenum nyina yese obekọ no mo da government pray wuro so ye betia won ka boso me because omo na aye adwuma ma aban na ba power until we are going to allocate money for them and into as allocations na aba no NDC for ni age before me catch the wo Sarah fe no ne nam ho no onye nipa bi ono ebuo bi wona ni so obuo bi o omu obia because he is can say covered and powered by the NDC and NDC Central power. And he doesn't care or he don't respect anybody. He does whatever he wants to do in the country and nobody questions him. But Abusia, before you talk about the budget itself, no, Ibeka Safa and Sama ato Forson ka okasewi and Sama Babonteno. I just want you to go through with this. Let's go through. let's go through to what the NDC said that he's going to do. Bashawa Huniyepa. Hello. Say you never kaya. Nana a queer from Mwakwa. Afro. Yeah. My next son, me woman bano ebe ma permatone afro. Afro yeme depa. Abusanfo, let's get deep into what the NDC came in to tell us. Abusanfo, during the NDC campaign, NDC share bobebre. Almost share bobebre. Na bono almost share yeno. We were expecting say Sama ya omo abai and come to me adi omo share no so. But what we can see is say Sanema we ya omo de abai nyina no just a way to steal. Yento aso ne yenko yanim. And this for share ye boss omo eba their priority agenda can say 24-hour economy. Sa 24-hour economy no. Mahwehwe omo yi no omo de ba ye no mu nyina first one nie, second one nie. Mahwehwe mahu babia agenda 111 she. Sorry, 24-hour economy no. Ehun allocation ewo mahu. But let's wait to see if they will come and talk about it. Abusiamfo, NDC is an incompetent in opposition and in power. Let's move on. NDC for country Ghana for say they are going to allocate 10 billion US dollars. Ewo mo agenda bi omo friend in the big push. The big push idea and they say omo be ma industrial growth aye den akona nim enuma enyini na ede ahoto aba ama mabunu anya adwuma ye. Niwia $10 billion na mo so mo de beto eho ama saade na akoso no. And this if for kan omo budget na omo so mo de 13 billion Ghana cedis ene ekwohye sa adwuma na se. Na 13 billion no o convert it into what? Into dollars ya. Less than even $1 billion. Yeah, and this you say and this yezu and just say yeza answer. Yanto wase yenyendre yeza he say yezu nkwa. Yeah, the 10 billion US dollars and acquire den and the besha ye the big push agenda no. And this betra konwa so a ye the $800 million and a diaba. Now, Timini, sa $800 million where I can want them no. Yem funny say, and even 1.5 billion dollars per year. Kurampona $10 million no omunya in 4 years of their time in office. And the first of all, ayentro omuye nkontompofo wa woye obi a wodi wani to the big push program so say the $10 billion ba be sa sector sa yankan sa initiative num ama wanya so mfaso no menua omoboa sika o so omfa nkɔhye ho no omo ntumi amfa nkɔhye ho sika o so omfa nkɔhye ho no for this 2025 no said omosia program no from the next year to the 2028 no sa amount of money no omuntumi nyamfa nkɔhye money ye kae said they were speaking without having fact and figures with them. It was just for campaign promises, just to let people feel say NDC care about them. And to me buy me the $10 billion US dollars ship the big push agenda no. The buyer had the $800 million and akwakosheho. Here there is more to say. Sikane di asheho. How the money will goes into the real people. A nipana omo behia sa sika no omo de aye bibima oman na kɔ nanim no kwanye sika no befa so akodi omo nsam ene na ya asem no because one kreti one pekwam bi so amfa pipa antwrade bi ma na anye say in the sense of governance no emrama ho kwan a huntumi nwie sika no. So what they do is they try to find a way to steal the money from the coffers of the government. Na they akwa bonten enti enye free yensemo penye free aban no coffers num na they kwa bonten pe ho no na ye share no nti ye kreti na ya lutu na ya share enti sa sika we yes here for the industrial ye de be boama productivity akoso e wo manum. But I can put my hands on fire. Say this money is going to be shared among some NDC men. Yento aso biem. NDC for said they are locating how many? 499.8 million Ghana cedis. Allocation for the no academic fee policy for first year student in public tertiary institutions. No academy fee policy. Sankrofo omo yare pa omo yare. Maybe sawo tiemi yo. Yes, here the 499.5 million. Koma a school for mobile free tertiary institutions, university, all those type of schools. No, your first year no, yen jusika enti the 499 million. Koho na ye the koma school for senebaya uba untia school fees for the first time admission free no one. But the question that I'm asking you is say, sadly way. It doesn't incentivize. I can incentivize. Yes, it doesn't incentivize the poor. What I say? We am quite more here ni babi to me in school. Sadly way, it is only for the rich men. And for so you so enkwasiasem, how to the equity in society. And that is why I love the MPP party. When they do something, they do things in a manner that it can bring equity. Sadi we yo moye no hai. Mami dana me mwakwa wapa. Sasika we mo dia for the first year academy and no fee policy no hwan nyina. Eye nyansa nim because the ede beba ne say eye sikafo no nko a ene betime take benefit of this because ohiani ba no uko school for the first year. Now when fear the next 2 years na aka wanim no. How are you going to maintain to go to the school? And this is for only the rich men. And combat metia. Omuno muntia. Oheni bano. Omwane honko 1 year of tertiary institution. Pacho temi yepa. Oheni bano onim say after the first year, on to mintia school fees ewo tertiary institution hono. Onko school no just because 1 year is free. Na mfie me no na kan hwan ne betua ma no. Oh, this sankrofo we omo ne adwene wo tire no omo yare. When you want to elevate a society, when you want to elevate the society, you make sure say you bring in policies etime then involve inclusion of all level of class. The class in the society no with the policies bar it will say make sure say the policy will involve everybody. And in tia brochire ha enipa owo sika nipa na busua wo sika ni university school fees and e was soro esne de ni sika. But you don't go and do this thing. Say, oba first year tertiary institutional media chow, but every the second and third year no, you have to pay. Into a hieni bano, how can he go to the tertiary institution? You see, these guys, they are stupidly, they are, but me pese medio biatem. Omo ne nimdie ewa mamuomu. Omo ne nimdie ewa mamuomu. The best thing they could have done, and they say, Sasika way, and come the best support to a here for more multi tertiary institution. And if any equity in society, good governance. I drink Cassia Edibu mine. We don't be a year, you can say, popularity policies. Yansan him, Mami Paulina Memoakwaba. Where you just for popularity. Sasika we are there to way. A sika for man and a bit to me this some fast. And here for man they are out because after the first year, who is going to take care of them? Nyansa in them. Ato Forson. What I see. Let's move on because Yamano does 292 million. 292.4 million allocation for the distribution of free sanitary pad to female students in primary and secondary school. And then Ghana buying Adani what? Adani Pala Pharmacy. Hey, John Mahama, you communist for say no mutio. Say no mutia. Enti ene Ghana buying Adani Pala Pharmacy and our dying. The oil say or distribute sanitary pad to girls. Mutem yo sanitary pad. Ye the Ghana sabio. Ntoboana amanfo etuano. Tuona etuano. Ye de koto sanitary pad na de abma school for nkoda so omo njim fammo omo na sabi omo niema ba omo de solve omo problem. Mentan obabia o. Mentan obabia. Ena enye se ye meya se ye de sanitary pad e be che nkwada. Nye se ye meya. But the issue is only a useless government. Aban a onni munyansa onhu de o se onye ma oman nko na nim ene bedwe sa ankurase dwene wei. It is only a primitive leadership ene bedwe se ma me nkoto sanitary pad in farmer school for nkura because uye nyuma oman mamufo no omo to omo a their mothers and their fathers will take care of their children's necessities. We a popular vote. The Odibenya popularity. Sasika way, ebe kwendisi from Painfobin bottom. Yansa bi anim. Sasika way, the end product of this money is say. Ebe kwa kujin kwasiafo bi bottom ebe chadi ai eba be ton sanitary pad ba ko e dia magana for at cost of beer $15 per sanitary pad. Enti afibia we will repeat this thing. Ebe repeat it. Yenko yanim na nema no doso 242 million allocation to support victims of the Akosombo Dam spillage. Okuja tabra kwa ebedidi ewo ha. Abushanfwe, moma yenkai se. Sa nemo ye ohu so mo atwere no. Eye normal. Nema no mo atwere na hana. That is the best way you will do to steal. Because untumi mfasika ni mfira ban ne bottom. Abra won kire de ode kwa akoye entu kire se odi scan akoye adwuma we ya unya di pie efiri aban no bottom wi a now de aye de opɛ se de ye kan se maslock sika ye de ko ho ma me ni di ye e ma ni ye no sa na te se de ye twa sika se enkoto ambulance mra ato Forson edi hu sika no saa na tie ai said your friend is saying Odida Mahama onkoto koko mboto mera na otumi koto koko boto ane boe dene sine koko bag ya koko gum no saa na tie and the allocations are done. That is the creation. Loot no ebedu ane amount project and then the loot. The amount project na your most can say fakoye project na you go to the last part of your friend and share. And this akosombo spillage we na ye kan ho asem no. Apart from Senanado, when this thing happened, he allocated a lot of money to support them there. But NDC and a way of stealing tea, allocated another budget there. Here to us, 200 million allocated to support victims of tar dive waves disaster in the Keta South constituency. Another create route and share. Monka na munhu se. J kufo baye. Mame blessing me mo akwa bapa. You saw the blessing of Fosu me mo akwa bapa. J kufo baye o sha asese nko sisi defense binum e wo da area ho. E ko si sen. NDC for baye be trap won hwe. San krofo we na san sem yo mo repeat no. Ukofo mo budget 2020 2012 ne 2016 na asifo nyina na. These things were there where a copy and paste repeating. Omubedi skano mo mfanye de oso monye. Omubedi skano. And this ake two sad waves we no. See defense ahodo ananadu see ye. Send this for buy or musi bia. Nkanye ne se nka so che kakra bi bo a na amanfo da nsuo mu no. Where is ikadie na mukodi. 3.5 billion allocated for the free secondary education program. Say Nanadu oh asiantu. I must say, but mother na share video no. I like video no mama na yeto aso. Abusiam for NDC for ye want to me antake. I ya chichiri won pinti free education must be maintained. Yes. I. Anadu jankupo nshirawo. Babi obia. Babi anadu danko akufo adu obia nyankopon ye den. O nshira no. And this is for your son come better free education. One ye ya chichiri wo ya takere wo boot for boot aya juma moboa mobeto aso. Na onim there ya. We are watching them from afar. Says our project to our program way omo man nyira na omo beto aso aye amagana for nya so mfaso. And for now there the free education and this for admit say some no mo kan ye Senanado ni project or dey ba enye hwan free education enya de pa no and this for atuche ama nanado. Let's see what is going to happen. No, oh, which can we mean? I did woman who will be a crocodile. I'm here. Number 7. Number 7. Number 7. Number 7. Oh, Edanyan Kupo wanse. Edanyan Kupo wanse pa. Say, I'm people for to me. I'm man krofo ya adwena ba fie. The woman apart from that, and this is for say they are going to allocate to 564 million allocation for comprehensive provision of free curricular based textbook. Enti yomo de kotobus amankwada yebehwe sebeye juma 1.78 billion allocated for school feeding program. Hey, yeni momo dada. And this abbreviation school feeding program eguye ewo Ghana. 145.5 million allocated for the capitation grant. Anti-free. Georgina Bosu wakwaba. Abusia se capitation grant badia. Let's say won't forget about what? The free health insurance, no. Won't forget it. Aye. And this is for say they are allocating 203 million for the payment of teacher training allowances. 480 million allocated for the payment of nursing training allowances. And you know, yeah, the Yankopon say after we bash them concerning the teacher and nursing training allowance, no, omwajia tum so mbetia. Yan question to us. And this is say they are allocating 9.9 billion Ghana cedis for the national health insurance. Okay. 2.8 billion allocated for Ghana Road Fund. Ghana Car Coin. 7.5 billion allocated for the District Assembly Common Fund. 1.5 billion allocated for agriculture for economy, transformation and agenda. Yentuaso 51.3 billion allocated as seed fund for the establishment of the Women Development Bank. Yentuaso na yenko yenim. 300 million allocated for the National Apprenticeship Program. 100 million allocated for the Ajumawura Program. 100 million allocated for what? National Codes Program. Which is this? Nkano ehanewo. Yatibi pain, yatibi da, enya de mro. Sama omo kenyina ano. Sama omo kenyina ano. Eye sama nsem na omo kan nyina no eske no beba life one room nsem na omo kan nyina no ya tibi pen, and we saw what happened. They couldn't do nothing with it. And this eske omo achiche dia kogu ha no just for the showcasing. Say this kind of way, this kind of way, this kind of way. At the end of the day, no, they won't do nothing with this money. They will spend the money, they will chop the money, and they will come and give us excuses. Hey, multi sanitation wase moha. Manti sanitation wase moha. Manti gates yo mokoye huajuma. Manti cleaning of the city. Manti wasem. Krofo omo yare. There is something wrong with them. Aye. Mamereta mwakwa papa. Manti so mokoye sanitation program so. Corona yesi mo aye fear malaria. Mami we say when we talk about cholera means somebody is eating feces, you know. Yanka wansem. All the monies that we are talking about, you know. Saya dear we county.
The whole statement is about cholera, and cholera this year is started from Ada. And when you want to understand what cholera means, which means somebody has eaten feces. Mr. Speaker, what brings about all those things is about sanitation. Whether we do proper sanitation. Mr. Speaker, just 2 months ago, there is a whole ministry for sanitation. And if you look at the budget for that ministry, and if you look at that budget and the sanitation doesn't go down to the people, then, Mr. Speaker, I beg to differ. We are not speaking truth to our...
Yes, in Tabusha, sanitation and Manu NDC, MP for Ada order. On a sekorada, Ajigana fa, a man free because a man for deep. I guess a corner about to say people has eaten feces. But Mahama budget, you know. Sanitation and kaho, but you could do part of the manquada. Oh, God of mercy. It was a kind of what? Part at the amount, but young can say sanitation. I had a more mining more clean. Na a man for omwadi omuhuni ya prapra kurum na kurunuma ya feno budget na meka ye no allocations ne bi nim. That was what I was waiting for. But kind of platform was I wanted to know the amount of money that they wanted to direct to the Minister of Sanitation in the country. Ebinka ho Yaboka agu. Sama mi we asan kopie mu of parliament. Now do you see?
Just is going to be because Ghanaians don't want too much talking. We don't want to hear inflation this, inflation that. All we want is we should have peace and we should have things reduced so that we can buy. All they want is to stabilize the economy. All they want is to put food on their table. So we need a budget that will put food on our table. We don't want to hear and the inflation is this, inflation that, and that. We don't want to hear their big English. We want to see changes in our lives.
That is your finance minister presenting about.
Yes, we promise to reset Ghana, and the reset is going to start from today because a lot of levies will go off, and we know that will reduce the living cost a bit. They should stabilize the city. That's all we want. So it should be no long talk. I don't believe in long talk. Action. The action to start from today. That's all we are looking for.
Right. So you are an advocate for women, young girls. Should you also see?
Until Bushan for Mami we esha say sanitation. We end this in but parliament omukoye budget no allocations no mo ye na bi nka ho. Na abusuye sa budget we ya maka kire we sika omode ye ba bi omode ko ba bi omode ko mo ye ni nyina wie ye. And afenyo markets eso de gina mu e wo parliament ho e na odi nsem we egudwa ye nkontie afenyo markets na wa de empese men kan na ntime ho onto ho ase ne se sa ne ma we ye hu hwe ye hu bi da e ye ntro ukofa o mo budget 2012 do mo de be di Ghana so for 4 years na ya twere ne ma we nyina the same thing go o mo anya ho hwe sa ne ma we ye hu ni hai ya twere bi a twere mo da ya mfa anye bibia na early to tell you, but you know what, we are keeping these images by June. Remember be say and na uhu ye. Did anything change? Did you see anything? Did anything new came into your life? Dada na thanks to God say na do ko na the GDP ratio no at 64%. And yes sir, nkayawu nkrofo we afe no mo bebo bosia kese afe no mo ba bebo today yankon konkoti afenyo markets punchlines are odema no ankasa nadamfo ato Forson heba na yato aso.
We have been presented with part 2 of the lamentation series. The part 1. Mr. Speaker, the part 1 was Mahamanomics. The part 2 is Forsonomics. And it's very clear, Mr. Speaker, that under the economy that they complain about, the growth was 5.7%. And under the research economy, the growth is rather going down. You are projecting a 4-point-something growth. That is what you are doing. Mr. Speaker, the economy that they complain about left us with 4 months of import cover, and they are projecting under reset 3 months. Mr. Speaker, these are the very people who managed the economy up to 2016 and left us with some IPP debts. Today they are telling us that they are coming to renegotiate the very disaster they left us. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Minority Leader, Honorable Minority
Mr.
Leader,
Speaker, we are not debating today. We are giving an indication.
Honorable Minority Leader, please be guided by Order 91.
Mr. Speaker, exactly so. Very, very guided by that. Mr. Speaker, I'm in Order 91.
Your statement was that you are not debating today.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, we are not making comment on it. We are not going to make comment today. 91, Mr. Speaker, when he makes a statement, we are supposed to comment on it.
Yes.
Yes, so I'm saying that we are not going to engineer the comment today. Because, Mr. Speaker, they are not ready. We are ready, but we think they are not ready.
Minority
so I'm only going to give an indication. Mr. Speaker, let the minority leader enjoy his bona fides for this minute. Just relax, Mr. Speaker.
I only want to draw your attention to the fact that you can only make comments.
Very well.
And the comments not more than 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, in commenting on this statement by the Finance Minister, it is clear to all of us in this chamber that today they decided to populate this chamber this chamber with their members only to come.
Honorable Minority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker.
The Minister for Finance did not talk about the population of the chamber. So that is not part of the statement of the Minister. Please.
Mr. Speaker, I noticed that when the Finance Minister came to present his statement, for the first time after the inauguration, the swearing in, the majority side was heavily populated. Mr. Speaker, That notwithstanding, Mr. Speaker, we have witnessed what we can best describe as an Azan budget. Mr. Speaker, they are all much talked about for 24-hour economy. The president came here, they said it was all ready. The finance minister comes here, and again, the 24-hour economy policy is not included in his budget statement. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, country have been waiting for this 24-hour economy policy. The minister tells us the policy will be brought later. Hey, Ato, the policy will be brought later. Mr. Speaker, it is clear that all the jobs they promised the youth of this country was merely an Azan promise. Mr. Speaker, there is no inspiration from this budget. There is no hope in this budget. The repetition of the social intervention programs, Mr. Speaker, and then the minister complained that some contracts at the road sector had no commencement certificate. Go to the Chain Homes Road. There is a road construction on the Chain Homes. There is a new road being constructed to the 10 homes with a new runabout. There is no commencement. We did a search. There is no commencement. There is no PP approval. You are doing, Mr. Speaker, you are started construction.
Minority leader. Honorable minority leader. Honorable minority leader. Honorable minority leader, please, comments. I have given you a privilege. Don't abuse it.
Mr. Speaker, I shall conclude my comments by saying that whereas the Minister of Finance told us that there will be heavy sanctions against all those who go contrary to the PFM Act. Under his own administration, the Chain Homes Road is being constructed now. A new runabout is being constructed. Meanwhile, there is no commencement certificate. Meanwhile, there is no PP approval. Mr. Speaker, the sanctions must start with his own ministers. Mr. Speaker, we are ready for our comments. We know they are not ready, but if the minister is going to stay, Mr. Speaker, let us start the comments on this budget statement here and now, because this Azan budget, we cannot allow it to get onto the shelves for Ghanaians to think that there is any hope. Mr. Speaker, there is going to be comment to expose them. Thank you very much.
Presented by the Minister for Finance.
Abusianfo entino said the wuhuno. The budget itself is empty. Entro mu didi chire Ghana for omo abeti omo akasa omoto. There is no money for free education. Free education is expensive. Why? But they are saying they are going to continue. You see that there is money in Ghana. Abayini Jessica oho. Now where man we yojina hoyi. The former finance minister for the 8th Parliament. Listen to what he has to say about the budget and the ato Forson at the core Parliament. Here we are. They are to us. Let's say like video now. I like it. I know I share some. Subscribe to the channel. I am Koyani.
And this will be followed later with a more comprehensive response. To start with, as you all heard the minister has confirmed to the whole world today that the economy we handed over to the NDC government was a strong economy. We have been telling Ghanaians that the economy was not in crisis. President Mahama used the soda over an economy which was not in crisis, and yet he told Ghanaians the economy was in crisis. The Minister for Finance also tried to do same, but however we all heard him alluding to the fact that this economy is a strong economy. You watched the hesitation when it came to announcing the growth figures. You also watched with hesitation by the minister when it came to the debt levels, the debt to GDP levels. The reality is that as of the end of last year, 2024, growth rate, real GDP growth, was 5.7%. And this was released just yesterday by the Ghana Statistical Service, confirmed by the minister today. We took over from the NDC in 2016 with a growth rate of 3.4%. 3.4% against 5.7%. Come to the projection for 2025. That is really disturbing and disappointing. An economy that was broken, recording 5.7%, and a reset economy, as we are being told, is projected to grow at 4%. How can we say that this reset economy will be better than the economy that President was criminally mismanaged and which grew at 5.7%? In terms of gross international reserves, again, with the NDC government, $8.9 billion of gross international reserves. And that was the equivalent of 4 months of import cover. The NDC handed over in 2016 with import cover of 3.5%. 2016, we left them with 4 months of import cover. In this year's budget, 2025, they are projecting to achieve 3 months of import cover, which is even worse than what they recorded in 2016. Are we moving forward or we are moving backward? So if a broken economy could leave 4 months of import cover, how come a reset economy is contemplating going back to 3 months of import cover? Ladies and gentlemen, the debt to GDP of Ghana, they have made all the noise about the MPP government excessively borrowing. The debt to GDP at the end of 2024 was 61.8%. Debt to GDP ratio 61.8%. NDC, when they left office in 2016, it was 73%. It was not until when the GDP was rebased in 2018 that it came to 56%. But the real debt to GDP when they left government was 73%. We left government with 61.8%. It means that Ghana is no longer heavily indebted. We have brought Ghana to debt sustainability path, and we are just left with little percentage points to achieve the IMF target of 55%. If you have 61.8%, we are talking about 6 percentage points to achieve the IMF target of 55%, which Ghana is supposed to achieve by 2028. But ladies and gentlemen, as of 2024, we already have achieved 61.8%. economy they said was a broken economy ended with a debt to GDP ratio of 61.8%. We have left with the NDC just 6 percentage points to achieve the 55%. But looking at the way they've started borrowing, I am worried. I am worried if they will not jeopardize the achievement, the gains that we have handed over to them. Trade balances have been confirmed today to be in surpluses. Trade balance is in surplus. The current account balance is in surplus. This cannot be a broken economy. The fiscal data was what the minister tried to use to misinform Ghanaians about the economy we handed over to them. The minister was quoting a fiscal deficit on commitment basis of about 8.3% and primary balance of about 3.7% deficit. Ladies and gentlemen, these are cooked figures. These are cooked figures. They have manipulated the data, and we know how they did it. They created a new line called unreleased claims, amounting to 49 billion Ghana cedis. And that is what they have put in the fiscal data to manipulate it to the levels of deficit they are complaining about. But I can tell you, we left a surplus primary balance. When we interrogate the data, every Ghanaian will know that we left a primary balance of a surplus of 0.7% on commitment basis. Ladies and gentlemen, they're talking about IMF, that we have breached the IMF program. I am so shocked that a minister of finance will be announcing the breach of the IMF program even before the IMF starting the review in April. The Minister for Finance is already giving a judgment that we have breached the IMF program. This has never happened in the history of this country, that a minister will be happy for his country to breach when the IMF has not said so. And that should tell the Ghanaian the lamentation and the misinformation they are carrying out to the world. When a country breaches the IMF program, it has serious implications for attracting investment into the country. This Minister for Finance is appealing to investors to come to Ghana, and the same minister is telling them that the economy is bad when the evidence doesn't support what he said. Is he attracting investment, or he is taking away investments? This is not the way to govern a country. Gentlemen and ladies, the minister also talked about the $10 billion big push. $10 billion big push. And in this budget, he allocated $800 million. $800 million to the big push projects in this budget. When they want to spend $10 billion, they even average $1 billion. They increase it to $1 billion average a year. They will not even be reaching $5 billion by the end of their term. So the jobs they are promising Ghanaians, they are Sakawa jobs. The jobs will not come. They are already failing in their promise as far as the big push is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, they talked about the 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy is supposed to incentivize industry to grow the economy. We left government with industry performing 7%. But if you look at the average industry performance from this year 2025 to 2028, by the time they leave government, it is only 5%. Average industry growth 5% for the next 4 years. When MPP recorded 7% in 2024. 24-hour economy is another Sakawa. The jobs they are promising will not happen. The budget did not address the cost of living issues. Cost of living issues haven't been addressed. Transport fares continue to increase. The budget did not address how they are going to ensure that petroleum product prices do not increase. And once petroleum product prices continue to increase, transport fares will continue to increase. This budget did not address that. This budget did not address energy bills, electricity bills. They didn't talk about how they are going to reduce energy bills. They didn't talk about how to decrease water bills. All these bills will continue to increase, looking at the indicators that we are seeing. And we thought that having campaigned on cost of living crisis and came to power with the support of the Ghanaian people, the least the government could do was to present a budget that will address the cost of living crisis in terms of transport fares, in terms of petroleum product prices, in terms of energy bills. But even when we come to taxes, the minister announced that they are abolishing VAT on motor insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, we were already not collecting VAT on motor insurance. VAT on motor insurance was exempted. Rather, the minister was trying to be smart. They have reintroduced VAT on non-life insurance, with the exception of the motor vehicle insurance. So all other insurance, given that the penetration of the insurance industry is just 1.1%, we are so shocked that the minister will reintroduce VAT on non-life insurance, except motor vehicle insurance. So let us not rejoice over the removal of these taxes, which what we did not expect was the reintroduction of VAT on insurance. They've also increased the growth levy from 1% to 3% for the mining sector and extended the sunset period from 2025 to 2028. When you heard the minister talking about growth, he said that the growth was influenced by the extractives. That's a lie. And so, how can you tax a sector which is giving you growth? The sector that is giving you growth is the sector you want to go and tax. This is not good for industry. This is not good for economic growth. And this is not good for the development of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, betting tax that they said they have abolished. We never collected betting tax. We never implement the betting tax. So to come and tell Ghanaians that you have abolished something that was not implemented is to deceive the people of Ghana. My brothers and sisters, they are talking also about gold board. It's important I address this. The gold board, as you heard the minister talk about, it to be financed from the budget. The minister is allocating $279 million to the gold board. We have never funded the gold purchase program or gold for oil program from the budget. It's never happened. And so to fund the gold board from the budget, in our view, is just to put in money to be benefited by NDC cronies. It is to create loot and share. The Bank of Ghana was funding the gold for purchase program from a revolving fund, and therefore it did not affect the taxpayer. Now you have a gold board which is going to rely on the taxpayer. We think that this is create loot and share, and we will resist it. Let me also say that the women banking that they said they were going to set up, they have allocated a paltry sum of 50 million Ghana cedis, 51 million Ghana cedis, 51 million Ghana cedis, and the capital requirement is 400 million for banks to be set up. So what are you telling Ghanaian women? Even when you have your vice president being the first woman to occupy that position, we are throwing dust in the eyes of the Ghanaian people, particularly our women who really need all the support we can provide to them. Let me add also on free senior high school program. Free senior high school program is so important for Ghanaians. The NDC, as the minister said, there is no dedicated funding for free senior high school. That is not true. That is not true. The free senior high school program is funded from the goods and services component of ABFA. That is how we have funded free senior high school. Now he is deciding to uncap Gov't fund with the view to using the uncapped amount to fund free senior high school. But Gov't fund is for infrastructure. Gov't fund is used for infrastructure. Free senior high school is mostly about goods and services. And this is why we applied the goods and services component of the ABFA to fund free senior high school program. Very soon, Ghanaians will see whether they can provide sustainable funding for free senior high school. Back, therefore, parents should pay. That is what they are trying to do. But we will expose them anytime they try to do this. Also, the Agenda 11 projects, we had a dedicated funding source for it. We were funding it with the capex component of ABFA allocated to GIF. The minister is taking that money from GIF. He has indicated that GIF will no longer have that money, which means that there will not be any dedicated funding for Agenda 11 projects, and which means that the president does not intend to complete these projects, which are needed badly by our people in all the districts across the country. They are also talking about allocating some money for nurse allowance and teacher allowance. We thought he would have commended the MPP government. After they abolished nurse allowance and teacher allowance, we brought it in. They are continuing with it, and they are allocating money towards it, and they want to take credit. This cannot happen. If you recall, the Minister for Education said teacher training allowance was no longer going to be viable. But the Ghanaian people, led by we the mighty minority, we opposed them, we chastised them, we condemned that attempt to end teacher training allowance. And this is why they have chickened out. And instead of admitting to the Ghanaian people that they've gotten some sense from the mighty minority, they want to take credit for that. I thank you very much, but I want to assure you that this is just preliminary response. Tomorrow, we have a major press conference to give a comprehensive response. It is not going to be for girls, it's going to be for all Ghanaians, all the Ghanaian people. Thank you very much.
Media so abusia and another show and I make a fancy baby or I said the winner of that be a case NDC for the ye can gimmicks, trickish, deceiving are number one. Are number one, no number one. Video on the butcher of this year. Fasoben was and Fasoben was a finance minister. According to them, I saw a for a dreadful din como, a coy budget into me, banner minimum could din como. Bra budget and now they call Parliament, I could come once, and they actually Ghana for. And none of our could dreadful, so no one could din como. To do what?